Hello everyone, I'm Brazen Eagle and thank you for joining me here. So today, we have an article from Time.com. Melinda Gates, wife of Bill Gates, says, "Here's why I'm committing $1 billion that my husband made to promote gender equality." Now, gender equality, that sounds great. Is that promoting gender equal opportunity or gender equal outcomes? Well, if you read the first 3 paragraphs like we are, you'll understand what position she's taking. So in 2018, there were more men named James running Fortune 500 companies than there were women. Oh no. This year in 2019, only one CEO on that list of 500 is a woman who doesn't have white skin. Women are 51% of the population, but hold only 24% of the seats in Congress. Oh my. My reaction to facts like these is a complicated mix of outrage and optimism. I imagine I'm not alone. It's frustrating, even heartbreaking, to confront evidence of the many ways our country continues to hold women back. Oh no. America is holding its women's back. Man, where is she living? She's probably actually living very, very nicely. Then again, for most of our history, women's absence from positions of power and influence wasn't newsworthy. It was normal, and it should be normal. The fact we're now talking about these inequities, a buzzword, is itself a sign of progress. A window of opportunity has opened. Or, more accurately, it was painstakingly pried open by the hundreds of thousands of people who have joined marches across the country, the millions of women who summoned the courage to tell their Pound Me Too stories, thrown quite a few men into jail for false rape accusations, the record number of women who ran for office in 2018 and won, and by the women who are working multiple jobs, caring for multiple loved ones, and proving you don't have to protest or enter politics to challenge a system stacked against you, or even raise a family, because who cares about family? It wasn't just grand gestures that got us here, it was daily acts of courage too. You are a brave, stunning, independent woman that needs no man until you hit your 40s and you're alone. Even so, there is no reason to believe this moment will last forever, or that this window will stay open as long as we need it to. If we're going to act, we have to act, that's right, now. Here's what keeps me up at night in my billion-dollar home. I imagine waking up one morning to find that the country has moved on, that the media has stopped reporting on systematic inequalities. Another buzzword. That diversity remains something companies talk about instead of prioritizing. That all of this energy and attention has amounted to a temporary swell instead of a sea change. There is too much at stake to allow that to happen. Too many people, women and men, have worked too hard to get us this far. And there are too many possible solutions we haven't tried yet. And that's why over the next 10 years, I'm committing $1 billion of my husband's wealth to expand women's power and influence in the United States, even if women do not deserve those positions or are not qualified. Who cares about qualifications? I want to see more women in the position to make decisions, control resources, and shape policies and perspectives. I believe that women's potential is worth investing in, and the people and organizations working to improve women's lives are too. And who cares about men? Who cares that, 75% of men are homeless? Who cares about the incarceration rate in the United States? Who cares, right? Men don't matter to you, Melinda Gates. My apologies, Melinda. Gender equality in the U.S. has been chronically underfunded. She is right. Do you know how many genders there are? There's like 60 billion of them. Not every single one can get the same amount of funding. So data from Candidates Foundation directory online suggests that private donors give $9 and exactly 27 cents to higher education, and $4.85 to the arts for every single dollar they give to women's issues. Oh no. What's more, 90 cents of each dollar donors spend on women is going to reproductive health. As absolutely essential as reproductive health is, we also need to fund other unmet needs. Really? Tell me, you're going to help fund research for prostate cancer? No? I didn't think so. To that end, my company, Pivotal Ventures, will put resources behind new and established partners taking innovative and diverse approaches to expanding women's power and influence. I wonder if they include trans women as well. We will continue to adapt our strategy in collaboration with our partners But we already know we are going to focus on 3 special priorities. First of all, dismantling the barriers to women's professional advancement. That's right, women are not liberated enough. Even though most women now work full-time or more, we still shoulder the majority of caregiving responsibilities. Well, it's almost as if women have the babies. Women face pervasive sexual harassment and discrimination because men don't ever face sexual harassment or discrimination. We, women, are surrounded by biased and stereotypical representations that perpetuate harmful gender norms. I'll tell the men that, oh my goodness, from the entrepreneurs incubating market-based caregiving solutions to the groups advocating for better policies and protections for women at work, because who cares about men? The people working on these issues need support to deliver breakthrough solutions at scale. Secondly, fast-tracking women in sectors with outsized impact on our society, like technology, media, and public office. Who cares about their qualifications? The reason the traditional pipelines into these industries work best for men is that, intentionally or not, they were designed that way. Not always, but you try to put the most qualified candidate in the best position. We need to create new pathways into these industries that will open up more entry points for women from all backgrounds. That's right, we need more Equifax problems and issues like that. Third, mobilizing shareholders, consumers, and employees to amplify external pressure on companies and organizations in need of reform. That's right, data plays an essential role in driving mobilization, but there's not yet enough of it when it comes to the lives of women, especially women who are not white. That's something more funding will help change. $1 billion, created by my husband, is a lot of money, but I also recognize that it's only a small fraction of what's necessary. And that's why I hope the financial commitment I'm making today is seen as both a vote of confidence in the experts and advocates who are already working on these issues, and an invitation for others to join the cause and make commitments of their own. Equality can't wait, because we already have it, and no one in a position to act should either. We are right to be outraged. We demand more than equality, but we're also right to be optimistic. Americans are no longer willing to accept the glacial pace of change. Trannies for everybody. And I feel lucky to be alive at a time when we no longer have to. Tell me more, you privileged cisgender female. Oh, right. Now, I had a lot of fun reading this article. It's not very long, but I had a lot of fun with him. So, you gotta love when rich people, especially Melinda Gates, now she might have earned her $1 billion by herself, but something tells me being married to Bill Gates kind of helped her with her wealth. But you gotta love how rich people try to supposedly look and sound good, right? Gender equality. That two-worded phrase has so much meaning behind it that honestly, it is overlooked by most people. But we're going to start here, of course, at the top. So, in the first paragraph, of the Fortune 500 CEOs, only one was a woman of color in 2019. This is terrible. Oh no. Women of color can't compete with other people. We must tear down those who are successful in order to make it more equal. That's the logic of Melinda Gates and the leftists. Women are more than half the population, but only hold 24% of the seats in Congress. Let's get rid of the men. Now, to be honest, I'm really tired of hearing stuff like this, but I know that unless enough men get together to end this, it's only going to continue, and you know what? It's only going to get worse. Melinda Gates tries to make a point to say that how inequitable our current system is. Now, like I said earlier, equity and inequity, equality and inequality are code words. And in this specific case about inequality, or actually inequity, what they mean, their definition, what they mean behind their words, is to tear down anyone who is successful and put someone they like into power at your expense. That's the equity that they are talking about. They say they want to raise people up, but they don't really talk about how they have to tear down most of the successful people in order to accomplish this. This is all in the name of equality of outcomes. Now, Melinda Gates says she's given $1 billion to expand women's power and influence in the U.S. Oh, good. I wonder if she had to ask Bill for that money. Or maybe Bill has to ask Melinda to spend any money. But anyways, maybe she earned it herself. But, trying to expand women's power and influence even more in the United States at this point in time is, of course, way past the goals of supposed equality. That's why they use the words equity now. Melinda says she wants to see more women in powers of position. Now, like I asked earlier, do these women deserve to be in positions of power? Do they have the qualifications? What if men have just as good qualifications, if not better, than these females? Let's be real, though. When Melinda Gates gets her way, and of course, other leftists' ways as well, who is it going to hurt the most? That's a question we kind of need to ask here. Who will get hurt the most with trying to forcibly push more women into positions of power and influence and decision-making? The answer is women. Why? Think about all the aspects of this supposed investment for women. By discriminating, completely outright discriminating against men, women will most likely get better jobs and get more income. That sounds nice. But there's always a consequence. You forget human nature, and more specifically, female nature. The female imperative that is embedded into the instincts of pretty much every single female is to lock down and secure resources with a superior mate to that female. Not an equal or inferior mate, but a superior mate. If women do make more money and have at least slightly more of a prestigious job than most males, then the females will not settle down and have a family. They will most likely not have children. Just look at the birth rates. Some people complain that people look at the birth rates too much, but it's a good indicator. We do not have a sustainable birth rate for the native population in the U.S. Maybe we don't need a birth rate or a fertility rate of 3, but at least we can probably agree on that we should have a sustainable birth rate. The native population, of course, in the United States is committing suicide in the name of supposed equality, and of course, the goal of more and more and more money. And you know what? Women would rather not have kids than have kids with someone they feel superior to. Women will go to the grave barren because they think they can do better. This will hurt women in the end much more than it will hurt men. The other day I saw a little survey that by the time women hits their 40s, their use of antidepressants and medication just skyrockets. It's insane how alone and depressed they are. But anyways, Melinda Gates compares donations to higher education and, of course, the arts to women's issues up here in this paragraph. Or a little bit above. Anyways, so tell me this, Melinda. When was the last time someone donated to men's issues? Does anyone care or hold an entire month hostage for prostate cancer like they do for breast cancer? Does the money donated to higher education and the arts not contribute to females as well as males? If anything, it sounds like women already are past equality and are demanding more than what they really deserve. Now, of course, Melinda here has 3 points she wants to address. So, first of all, she wants to destroy supposed barriers to women's professional advancement. Okay, such as what? If women want to work full-time, then don't complain about not having kids. You have to balance your life out. There's only so much time in the day, and if anything, women out-earn men in their 20s. Men only earn more than women beyond their 20s because some of the females choose to have kids. Not all, but some. Women, supposedly, and I'm sure it happens, face some sexual harassment and discrimination, but do you not think the same things happen to men? If anything, women have it easier because they are female. They can get away with more than men can. Men face discrimination on a daily basis as well. A woman can complain to HR about sexual harassment without any evidence and get a man fired. How is that fair? Melinda Gates, complains that women are surrounded by biased and stereotypical representations. Guess what, Melinda? We all are. There's always a reason why stereotypes exist. I'm not saying that people can't break stereotypes, but stereotypes, they exist for a reason. Now, for her second point, of course, she complains that society has built up itself for men because it was built by men. Basically, she wants to lower the requirements for women so that they can make up an supposedly appropriate percentage of the workforce based on the population by throwing out merit and qualifications and putting whoever has a vagine into positions of power, or at least identifies as a female. And now lastly, of course, she wants businesses and of course consumers and employees to be pressured to hire more women. Who cares if they're qualified or not? Just put a vagine in the position of power because we want to see more companies fail. Do we need another Equifax? I don't. Do we need another remake of Ghostbusters? Or how about, a remake of Ocean's 8? Melinda Gates wants to see women of color in more powerful positions. Okay, so what she says is that she wants more black and Hispanic females, right? Does that include Asian women? Sometimes Asians are successful and because of that are discriminated against because they have too much success. I've heard leftists tell me that Asians are not a minority because they are too successful. But then again, putting successful people into positions of power really doesn't fit her narrative. There are probably already too many Asians who are CEOs. Melinda Gates, she's pushing equality so hard that she doesn't even understand what it means. Or maybe, actually, she does. She's just using equality as a buzzword, as a cover word to really promote inequality and equity. She is trying to push, of course, for the equality of outcomes to the point where discrimination is absolutely valued and used in society to achieve appropriate ends. Equal opportunity doesn't exist anymore, and you know what? Maybe it never did. But equal outcomes is the goal. Gotta love communism. But welcome to our current world, where you can be the best possible candidate for a job and not get it because you don't have a vagine or you don't have the right skin color. But then again, we've had affirmative action for decades now, and it has shown to be a waste of time, money, and energy. But you know what? I'm just Brazen Eagle, sitting behind a relatively cheap microphone. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great, great day.